I married my best friend. 6 months later,
I found out about his girlfriend.
better you than me. I, 32 female, married my husband, 31 male, at the end of June after 8 amazing years together. We lived with each other basically from the beginning. Our wedding and honeymoon was amazing. We've always gotten along, made each other laugh, and we were happy, or so I thought. About 2 months ago, we were cuddling on the couch and I felt something wet on his chest. At first I was like, ew, babe, you drooled on me. Only to realize he was crying. My mind, y'all don't even want to know where my mind was and what I was thinking. In 8 years, I've only seen this man cry when our dog passed away. That moment cracked everything open. He admitted that he was unhappy and the floodgates opened. We didn't have enough intimacy, physical intimacy. We have complete opposite work schedules. We only get an hour together once a week and then Friday afternoons and Saturdays. Even with that, we were having intimacy at least once a week. He said he didn't feel loved despite the fact that I go out of my way every day to make him feel loved. He complained that when I was 1 year into the relationship, I tried to move us to another state. He was angry that I didn't want to have a baby at 28 years old before we were married. The list goes on and on. I worked my butt off for the past 2 months to fix all the things that were wrong with me. Communicated better, initiated intimacy, bought and read a bunch of books on saving a marriage. I got into therapy, got us into couples counseling. Still, he would cry every single day, and every time we would try to have intimacy, he couldn't perform, we'll say, and blamed me for it. I was supportive, patient, and kind with him. I was worried about his mental health. His job is really dangerous and stressful, and I was worried that he was depressed. Then my therapist asked me if he was cheating. The thought was so ridiculous to me. When the heck would he have time to do that? And he would never. Then his mom and sister asked me the same thing. They pushed me to look at his phone, but I did not want to violate his trust. It ate away at me until finally last week, after he got home late as I checked it. It was all right there. 4 months, this man has been having an affair with a bartender. All of their messages were about how much they love having with each other. They sent noodles, you know what I mean? Photographs in the nude. The same selfies that he would send me, he would send her. They were telling each other they love each other so much. I even saw her mention my name a few times. What the F? I confronted him. He admitted he loves her, but that he loves me more. Wow, thanks. So nice of you to love me more. I kicked him out and I moved out all of his stuff. I left town for a little while to be with my family, and now I'm stuck in an emotional whiplash. Some days I hate him. Other days I miss him so much and I want him back. He has been my best friend for years and I love him to absolute pieces. We talked a few times. He insists that it was a mistake and he would take it all back, but he's not groveling, not trying to make amends. He won't answer any questions about her and doesn't have any immediate plans to cut things off with her. As I type this, I feel ridiculous for even asking if I should try to work things out with him. We have been trying for a baby for months. We were planning a life. I feel gaslit, confused, furious, and heartbroken all at once. I don't understand how someone can marry me, cry about being unhappy, let me twist myself into knots trying to save our marriage, and be cheating the entire time. Yeah, well, it's just pretty simple. Some people suck.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
That's all there is to it. You can't really make sense of it other than that. They suck. Why marry me? I know he's known her for years, and since he wouldn't answer me when I asked if it was happening before the wedding, I assume the answer is yes. What's wrong with him? What's wrong with me? Is there any possibility of salvaging this? What is my best move? Why do I want to fix this when it's so insane? I feel like my head and my heart are in two different places. I would love to hear what you have to say about why I still feel so much love and what that means. Well, your love doesn't really go away just because someone's unfaithful. I learned that when I went through Something similar. You're still wondering why you're crying, how you miss them, how you want to work it out with them when they've done the worst thing they could possibly do to you. You didn't stop loving them and cheat on them, you know? We're making our first pit stop at the Reddit comment section. First comment, how are you processing the possibility that the relationship may have involved a long-term pattern of disrespect? What a way to word that. OP responded and said, I am wondering if I was happy. I met him when I moved to a new place and I've built my current life with him, my home, my friends, my family. I haven't known my current life without him and I wonder if it'll feel like a weight lifted. Eventually, girl, once you're healed, you got a whole new life, whole new start. Next comment, what did you realize about how he viewed the breakup and your willingness to tolerate his behavior? She said, I know this is all going to be best for me. When I left him, despite the cheating and problems we were seeking counseling for, he said, quote, I never ever thought we would actually break up. It's like he thought I would just deal with this forever and keep playing his game. He really mistook my kindness for weakness. Crazy. Imagine cheating on someone and then being like, I just never really thought we would actually break up though. I can't. I'm gonna bite my tongue. Biting the tongue. I don't have anything nice to say. I gotta chill.
I need to calm down.
You guys know me, I'm getting pissed. Next comment, why were you trying for a baby despite only having limited time together? She said, fair question. It was a temporary schedule for him that is to change soon to a new schedule that would let us have more time together. But now I suppose that doesn't matter. Next comment, what has he said about whether he would actually end the affair? I mean, that wouldn't matter to me, but she's considering it. She said, I asked him what the plan was and he said, quote, if we could fix things, of course I would leave her, but like, how could we have ever fixed anything if he was out sleeping with and falling in love with someone else? No, girl, please. I don't even know if he deserves the chance to fix things. Next comment, what happened when you tried to get him to give you the full story about the affair? She said, I tried and he simply refuses. He also is mad that I confided in my friends and family. He seems to care more about how people are perceiving him than how he actually hurt me. Girl, you are just adding to the list of all the reasons why I can hate him. Let me tell ya, you don't have to hate him, but woo! You just keep adding to my list that I got going on in my head. Next comment, how do you feel about the 8 years you spent together now that you know what has happened? She said, I wish that if he was unhappy and wanted out, then he would have just said that. I would have been sad, but I don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with me. In this case, I probably could have looked back at our 8 years and smiled, but now it's hard because I'm so angry and disgusted and I worry all those years will always be soured. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that he's not giving you details about the affair as well, how long it actually has been going on for, before the wedding, is she the only one? Next comment, what are you considering doing about having children in the future? She said, we had gone to a fertility specialist together and we're about to use some medication to help us out. Going to look into maybe having my eggs frozen. I don't want him to take having a family away from me. Man, there's so many questions. People were just firing questions at her in the comment section. Next comment, what have you learned about the effect that this breakup is having on you? She said, I didn't realize that this was a nervous system response until some comments, and now I'm reading up on it. Next comment, what is your living situation now? I didn't even think about that. She did say she packed up his stuff. She said, we rent and I'm in the process of removing him from the lease. Next comment, where's your husband staying and is the affair still continuing right now? She said he's staying with a friend and yes, it's still continuing. I'm trying not to check up on him. It's not something that I feel will serve me. Yeah, so how's your girlfriend? How are things going? All right, a few more questions. Someone said, what steps are you taking to separate your life from his? She said, I'm making plans to move closer to family. Unfortunately, that will mean leaving a job that I love and I've worked my butt off for and getting a teaching certificate for a different state. It's daunting and it sucks, but I am sure that it will be worthwhile. Next comment, what did you learn about why his mother and sister suspected something was wrong? She said, I'm super close to his mom and sister. They said they didn't know anything or have any evidence, but there were little signs that they picked up on over time that I was too in love to see. That's interesting. I want to know what they are. And lastly, why have you decided not to confront the other woman? We decided that? She said, it is tempting, but I'm not sure that it would serve me. I know she knows about me. I could see from the messages. She also commented on pics of us from our wedding stuff. Diabolical. He admitted she didn't know that we were in couples counseling, but that we were having issues. Either way, she knew she was involved with a married man, maybe just being triggered to talk to her, as much as I think she's a POS, piece of shite. I think talking to her would be misdirected anger that he deserves. He's the one who made the vows and owed loyalty to me. I was in the exact same position. The person totally knew that I existed. She actually would mention me in messages and things like that. And it took everything in me not to confront her, but I felt the same way at the time. I was like, what's the point? What am I going? It's not going to make me feel any better. It's not going to erase what happened. And you know what? I'm glad. That probably was the best decision at the time. But when I'm reading the story, I'm like, confront her! I want all the drama. All right, we have a mini update. She said, I just want to clarify, we are not having intimacy anymore or trying to have a baby currently. We were trying for a kid for months before I found out about the affair, which was about a week ago. I packed up all his stuff, I changed the locks, and I redecorated a bit to make my home feel like mine instead of ours. I also got STD tested a few days ago, and I'm awaiting some more results. All of them have come back clear so far. Today was his birthday, and I ignored his messages. You are all making me feel stronger when I feel tempted to text him. I read some of these comments and then the rage sets in. Ooh, girl, I would have gave you my number. You could text me anytime when you feel like texting him. Next update. It has been over 2 months since all of this went down. Today, I'm just about 4.5 weeks of no contact. That's a win. Things blew up when his girlfriend reached out to me wanting to commiserate with me about him being a D-bag, we will say. Like, no thanks. I blocked her. I blocked him. Block, block, block. It has been a roller coaster, but I'm proud of myself for cutting off what does not serve me. I get moments and days of sadness, which I feel a lot of shame around. It feels embarrassing to feel sad over someone that wronged me so badly, but I know it's part of the process, and I keep reminding myself that he is not who I thought he was. I asked what the plan was, having me and a girl on the side, and he said, quote, I hoped you would get pregnant so I would have a reason to stop. Guilty as charged. I would be in prison so fast if... How do these people not see red? Okay, sure. And that he thought life with me would be mediocre. Since we've broken up, I have traveled, been in therapy consistently, worked out regularly, been on a few dates, and spent more time with friends and family. I know it'll keep going up. Now, see, what worries me is that we actually have a final update, and I thought that might be the final update, which makes me fear she might have gone back, or there was something else to the story here. Girl, I swear to God, we will find out right after we hop on hydration station, okay? You need water, I need water, she needs water, he needs holy water because he's the devil. Oh, I'm mad. Cheers. Another video of look how cute Lila is. Look at her. Just tucked behind this pillow, but enough for it to hold up her head at the same time. The sleepy baby. The sun is setting. It's time for bed. Oh, you're so sweet. She is so freaking cute. Biased opinion, because she's my dog, I know. But tell me this is not the cutest thing you've ever seen. This final update came very recently. It was over 7 months later, August 20th, 2026. So this story is getting wrapped up with a big bow. Hi Reddit fam! I cannot believe it's been about 8 months since I found out my ex was having an affair. I still come back to this post sometimes, and genuinely, your comments have helped me get through the worst period of my life. Even the ones that made me want to throw my phone across the room because I knew you were right. So I figured it was time for an update. Wow. Wowza. Pretty impressive. That's gonna piss some people off. First and most importantly, we are not together. Thank God, hallelujah. We haven't seen each other since January, and I can confidently say there will be no reconciliation. Snaps and claps. And here is possibly the most unbelievable plot twist of this entire story. We found out our marriage was never legally filed. The paperwork apparently got lost in the mail and never made it to City Hall. And before you say it, because I know I truly do think he tampered with it, I personally dropped it in the mailbox at the post office. I chose to believe that somewhere out there, a guardian angel saw what was coming and said, absolutely effing not. So after 8 years together, a wedding, vows, honeymoon, everything, I walked away without even needing a divorce. Wild, girl. The universe took a stance. Took a frickin' stance. He paid me rent through the end of our lease, and he still sends me money occasionally. Why? I know there is an argument that accepting it keeps us tethered, but girls got bills, so keep it coming. I've picked up some side gigs for money, but I live in an expensive city and can use all the help I can get. In the month or so after everything blew up, my ex went back and forth a lot. He asked me to get back together. He asked me to run away with him. He talked about eloping and still having babies together. At one point, he told me that he had ended things with his affair partner. And I am very proud of past me because somehow, even while my entire life felt like it was collapsing, I held the line. I told him I don't hate myself enough to ever get back together with him. I also told him to go unend things with his affair partner because maybe he could repair that relationship. But there was absolutely no way of repairing ours. I do sometimes wonder what they tell people about how and when they got together. Ick. Oh, does that mean they're still together? Eventually, his affair partner reached out to me because apparently she wanted to talk with me about him lying to her. Wow, the engaged man you knowingly started a full-blown relationship with lied to you? Shocking. No thank you, ma'am. So I blocked her and I blocked him. While my anger is mostly directed at him, I still think she's a crappy person, and I hope her pillow is always warm and there's perpetually one tiny pebble in each of her shoes. Well, I wish a lot worse. On some people from my past. My ex and I went more than 4 months with completely no contact. When a family member passed away, he, as I expected, used that as an opening to reach out to me. We have spoken a handful of times since then. Almost entirely about logistical things. We did catch up a little once. I know, it's bad, my friends have already yelled at me, but the second he started bringing up the past and asking why I couldn't meet his needs, I ended the call. Nope. See, I don't even think, this is just me. I'm the type of remove, no contact, goodbye, because I don't think that person even deserves access to you in any way. A little chit chat, a little catch up, a little keep in touch once in a while. No, you don't even deserve that much from me. Access? Not everyone should have access to me. You know what I mean? That was actually a pretty important moment for me. 8 months ago, I would have immediately started explaining myself, defending myself, or wondering what I could have done differently. Now I heard it for what it was. Him still trying to make me responsible for choices he made. Line drawn. No thank you. I can tell he misses me, and I'd be lying if I said I don't sometimes miss parts of our old life too, but missing something is very, very different than wanting it back. Also, for everyone who wondered whether he ever fully took accountability of what happened, I'll let you decide. His life pretty much imploded after we broke up. He moved in with his best friend, who eventually kicked him out, out, and last I heard, he was living on his parents' couch. The truly wild part is that as of Easter, he was apparently still telling his family that we were together and that I was just visiting family when I wasn't showing up to family events. Is he not with her? Why doesn't he live with her? I'm so annoyed. Then in July, he randomly texted me asking whether I had told his family we broke up because people were starting to ask questions. I had not. Y'all are both pissing me off now. I'm pissed at both. This is so annoying. I need a spin of positivity. That's what I need. This is not my life. Thank God. Okay, spin of positivity. I feel better already. Do I? All I'm saying is you haven't seen him since January, but it's July and you haven't even told your parents you broke up? Which means this grown man apparently made it more than half a year without fully owning the fact that his relationship had ended. Yikes. That text honestly told me everything I still needed to know. The avoidance, the lying, the refusal to own what he did, it wasn't just about the affair. As for the affair partner, I believe they may still be together, but I genuinely do not know. I asked everyone close to me not to give me updates about either of them. I don't want screenshots, I don't want gossip, I don't want to know whether they're happy, miserable, married, broken up, living together, whatever. Not my circus anymore. And surprisingly, I don't really need the answers I desperately wanted 8 months ago. When I wrote my first post, I kept asking, why would he marry me? Why did he do this? How could he watch me twist myself into knots trying to fix our marriage while knowing the entire time that he was cheating? I thought if I could understand it, maybe I could make peace with it. I understand now that there probably isn't an answer that would ever make it make sense to me. He made selfish, cowardly choices. That is the answer. Something else I have come to terms with is that the affair wasn't the only thing wrong with our relationship. With some distance and a lot of therapy, I can recognize patterns that I normalized over the 8 years that were emotionally harmful. My sister explained it to me using the frog in boiling water analogy. If you throw a frog into boiling water, it jumps out. But if you put it in cool water and slowly turn up the heat, it doesn't realize what's happening until it's too late. I feel like the frog is gonna jump out of the water the second the temperature starts to get a little too warm. But I get it. I get the vision here. That's what this relationship feels like looking back. He didn't wake up one morning 8 years ago and suddenly start treating me terribly. It happened slowly. A critical comment here, a nasty joke there, comments about my appearances, texts with girls that just crossed a line, being so temperamental and moody that I always walked on eggshells. And because it happened little by little, I got used to it. Things that would horrify me if a man said them to me on a third date somehow became things that I accepted from my husband. Instead of asking, why is someone who loves me speaking to me this way, I would ask myself, what can I change so that he stops? That has been one of the biggest things that I've had to unlearn. I'm realizing how much of myself I made smaller to keep the peace, how often I accepted cruelty as humor or criticism as communication, and how much my confidence eroded within me without even noticing it happening. The affair was the explosion that ended our relationship, but I can see now that the relationship had been hurting me long before I even knew about her. Meanwhile, my life has gotten so much bigger. I have stayed in therapy. I'm probably in the best shape of my life. I've traveled. I'm doing things I love. I've spent a ton of time with my friends and family. I've poured energy into the people who showed up for me when my life was completely falling apart. And I feel like I'm getting my sparkle back. The weird thing is, with some distance, I can see now that he was dulling the sparkle long before the affair. I spent a long time grieving not only him, but the life I thought I was supposed to have by now. When I married him, I thought the next chapter was babies, a family, growing a life together, all of it. Obviously, that chapter got ripped up, and for a while, that terrified me. Now I'm getting more comfortable with the idea that my life might look different than the one I planned. Best case scenario, maybe I don't have kids of my own and I get to be the cool, slightly unhinged aunt who spoils her nephew often. I have a new nephew now, and honestly, he has been one of the biggest blessings to come out of this year. I am also dating someone and still taking money from your ex and texting with him? Let's talk about that. How do we feel about that, Sasquatch? I feel like block his number, never talk to him again, good riddance, goodbye. I don't know. He is kind, he treats me well, and I'm intentionally not putting some huge, is this my future husband, pressure on the relationship. Maybe he is my person, maybe he isn't. What I do know is that the experience completely changed what I am willing to accept from a partner. I'm not going to mother a grown man. I'm not going to beg someone to communicate with me. I'm going to choose someone who chooses me. And most importantly, I'm never going to forget to choose myself first. One of the biggest things I'm working on is not making the relationship the center of my life. I spent so many years being part of an us that I think I forgot how important it is to have a strong sense of me. I don't want to be codependent on another person. I don't want my happiness, confidence, plans, or sense of security to depend on whether a man chooses me. Things are not magically perfect. I still think about my ex. It's understandable. Sometimes something random reminds me of our life together, and it feels surreal that a person who was beside me for 8 years is basically a stranger now. But I don't cry over him anymore. I don't wish that we were back together. I don't fantasize about him suddenly becoming the person I thought he was. And I no longer feel ashamed that I loved him for as long as I did. I loved the person I believed I was building a life with. Finding out that person wasn't who I thought he was doesn't make the love I felt fake. In a very messed up way, the affair gave me the kick in the butt I needed to walk away from a relationship I probably should have walked away from years ago. 8 months ago, I genuinely did not know how I was going to survive losing the life I thought I had. Turns out I didn't lose my life. I got mine back. Thank you guys for helping me see that before I was ready to see myself. Now, I just want to know if people feel the same way as me. You have to let me know, but we are going to the Reddit comments to check out a few things, to see what people are saying about this update. All right, first comment, someone said, you 100% need to contact a lawyer before walking away without a divorce. It may come back to bite you if you don't ensure that this is wrapped up correctly. Even though your marriage was technically never legal, you both had a good faith belief that it was, and that may give both of you rights as if your marriage was legal, and your ex could use that to cause problems later down the road. You also likely did things like file taxes or enter contracts as married that could look fraudulent if you don't formally resolve this. I never even thought of that. Obviously, I'm not married yet. I don't know how this works. What action is required varies by state and the specifics of your situation, but I had a friend that found out their marriage was never filed when they went to get a divorce, and she had to do a ton of extra work to first legalize her marriage from their original wedding and then file for divorce. Whoa. I would have never thought of that, so good to know. Next comment, you say he's messaged you a few times and you've responded. Stop that. Block him on your phone, email, and social media. Only accept rent money because he owes you that. Don't take any other money from you. Once the lease is up, move someplace you can afford on your own. Do not tell him where you moved. I would also block his family. He can't lie to them forever. She said he paid rent until they broke the lease, and she's still taking money after the lease. Which why would he want to pay money though? Also, next comment, quote, girls got bills, keep it coming. That's just gross. Have some respect. You had enough self-respect to leave. How about you keep that coming? Oh, okay. She responded to this one. She said, I have plenty of self-respect. I spent a crap ton of money on this man and the wedding and feel that paying me a few $100s a month to cover some of the expenses we signed on together as a couple is the least he can do. I don't rely on it, but I surely don't mind it. If covering my therapy makes him feel better, so be it. If that's a problem for you, feel free to hit me with a Venmo. Okay. I mean, some of y'all might agree with that energy. For me personally, I'm not taking money from any man, especially, nah. I would rather walk away. I don't need you. I can do everything on my own. I will find a way, block him on everything. That's my opinion, but I'm curious. Let's talk about it. Do you guys think she should still be taking a couple $100s extra a month? Do you think she should still answer his texts? Pardon me, I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna lie. I think she's not fully over it. She says she still thinks about it, maybe misses parts of their life, still answers, takes money. That door feels open still. Hasn't told her parents. It feels open. I'm not convinced that this is the end of the story, to be honest. Let me know. Stay classy out there, you guys. Stay sassy. Go on Git.